Hello, hello, hello. What's up? It's your boy, Ian Abinoha, aka Pineapple, with another thought of today. Thought of the day. It's January 1st, 2024. So there's a lot that's been on my mind. I think today I found myself longing to question what does it mean to be alone. Um, there was an interesting kind of feeling that I had yesterday because this was actually like a really good sign for me. As we all know, I travel a lot for work. I'm very busy. There's a lot that I give myself up for. And so when I had time to rest, it was around this time, which usually, we're social, we want to go out. But something deep down inside for me really wanted to be alone. And it wasn't to be away from everyone. I think a lot of it was just built off of, many, many weeks of being around amazing people, sharing great memories, creating amazing energy and vibes. But for myself, understanding that as I give out a lot, I need to dedicate time to recharge and rest. And, 2023 for me, as I said in the other videos, was a little bit more around, you know, trying to figure out through a chaotic year how to stay consistent with what we want to do in our lives. So, echoing the whole thought around patience and process. And in doing so, I found myself last night when I was alone, kind of searching. It's almost as if a part of me, as you're looking through social media and seeing all these people out and about celebrating, it was interesting because I was very happy for them, and a part of me actually wanted to, belong. Like a part of me wanted to have a little bit of that social energy around me as well. But deep down inside, as I was looking at it, I could tell that I myself wouldn't have been my best self if I was in those situations. And, to understand where your energy's at and to understand where, the type of frequencies that you might give off, because if your energy's low, you might be giving off negative energy and frequencies. And so I had to think to myself, being here, being in my apartment on New Year's alone, I was wondering whether or not I was feeling depressed. I was wondering whether or not I was just feeling anxious, like I just didn't want to go out. I was wondering whether or not, like there was things to that felt like it was going to be a lot for me to handle. So why not just hide? But as I wake up today, it's beautiful in LA. It's sunny. And I'm just reminded that, we take these things every single day. We could plan for the future as much as we can. And, it's hard because I had like a really great conversation with a couple of people yesterday, and everyone's just searching, and it's okay. I can't seem to think that even as I observe those who are still more mature, they have lived most of their lives kind of doing everything, they're still searching for something, right? We wake up every day wanting to do something, wanting to define ourselves in some way. And whether we're alone, we have a family, we have a partner, we're with friends, we're with strangers. I did question whether my isolation was a product of me feeling depressed, right? Like jealous of not being around people and wanting to be my best self and wanting to, just be accepted. But it's an interesting line that you have to understand to look at yourself and say, okay, yes, I'm alone, but it's a conscious decision to be alone. I have to admit to the world that I have been very busy. I have to admit to the world that I've been giving a lot. And so where most of us might build regret because we want others to give back, the first person that needs to give back to us is ourselves. Like that's the first way to learn how to accept and receive from others is to learn and accept to receive from ourselves. And so, I go about like walking, every day and thinking about like, oh, okay, should I, go to nature? And oftentimes I think to myself, am I doing this because I think others will accept what I do, even though they're not even there? Or am I doing it for myself? And sometimes we just have these automatic triggers of doing these things and we post it so that we can share to others because we want them to see that we're doing well, which is good. Like, I think that's fine. But the biggest test sometimes for me is, you know, there's that interesting kind of riddle where a tree falls in the middle of a forest and there's no one there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. And if I were that tree, only I would know, right? And so I realize the perspective that you take on that riddle, whether you hear a sound or not, is in my mind a perspective of, are you the tree or are you the people outside of the tree, right? And in this moment of loneliness where no one can see what I'm doing, hear what I'm doing, right, interact with the things that I'm doing, uh, no one knows, and it's perfectly fine because I am the person that realizes that I'm making the sound and that I'm making those vibes and energy. And within my day to day, living the present moment, I can see that I am my own best friend. So it's weird because physically I do feel alone sometimes. But I'm reminded with how much I've been working on trying to like love myself in that way that, you know, your best friend is like literally with you at all times if you truly love yourself in that way. And I know it's hard. I know a lot of people are facing a lot of, blockers and barriers and ambiguity in terms of understanding how to love themselves. And that's not something I can provide a methodology or framework for. I can only just speak to my experiences. And I think a lot of it was just learning how to unconditionally love and accept the reality of everyone around you, right? I know, and going through Christmas, got to see like two different generations, right? Like my mom's generation, her siblings, and then my generation with my cousins. And it was interesting just to see how we're all growing up and how different we can be. And sometimes that the generations can never fully learn and accept from one another, right? And it's hard because, you want for people to relate, but generationally, people are adapting with different paces and different types of exposures to reality, right? That it made me proud to see my cousins and to see how we've all become adults because in our household, parents are, the supreme rulers, right? Like you always have to rely on them on determining what to do for the rest of the family. And as all of us have gotten older and you're starting to see all of us starting to build our own lives, it was quite beautiful. And, you know, even though, like, for me, it was interesting because all my cousins in Vancouver, they're married or have a significant other. Um, it was interesting because, of course, I would look at my life and say, well, I'm not married. I'm not dating. I don't have kids. So do I feel alone? Do I see myself as being a potential failure in that sense? But then I think about, and it's funny how I record these videos because I actually just had a session with my somatic coach. Um, we were talking about how I personally still feel like I have untapped potential. I don't know why. And it's crazy because, the way I think about my life today, there's no way that I would have imagined myself in the position that I'm in today, right? Working where I'm working, having the type of platform that I have, having a great community, like living in an awesome city like LA and all these different things. Like, I can't ask for more. So like, why do I feel like I still have untapped potential, right? And we can't dictate these things, but what I can say is there's a challenge to myself that I need to dedicate wholeheartedly, which is, and one of my favorite people in the world is Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, right? That Mamba mentality. And I always thought to myself, like, how do you fully commit? How do you fully dedicate your life to a craft? And it's not something where, like, obviously everyone has full capacity to do so. But I've always been wondering, like, have I even tried with my full capacity? Have I been more timid? Am I trying to run away from things? And the reason why I say this is because a lot of people will say that, Kobe Bryant in his path towards success and implementing the Mamba mentality was doing it a lot in isolation, right? He wasn't very social necessarily. Like, he committed himself wholeheartedly to his life, his craft, his family, and those type of things. And so a part of me felt like there's something deep down where I still have a lot more that I can do. Now, do I know what that is? Not sure. But I have started to identify that the path that I may be embarking on in 2024 can still be a very isolated and lonely journey. Because to really dedicate time to myself, to upgrade myself, right, would mean, like, I need to start going to the gym every day. Yeah, I could go with other people, but no one's going to push me except for myself, right? Like, I really have to believe in myself to do so. Same with eating healthy. Same with taking care of my skin. Same with, building like healthier habits and routines for when I travel. I know that I'm going to be working late nights. I know that I'm going to be leading teams. I know that I'm going to be, someone that is being asked upon to do certain things consistently. And, the past 10 years, as I was talking to one of my friends, I've been traveling for 10 years straight. I haven't really lived a life where I stood still. And I think that was the reason why for this New Year's, I just wanted to be home. I just wanted to be alone. I just wanted to be still. I just wanted to be my, turtle self. um, because I think deep down, my body and my mind and my soul were screaming for a little bit of attention. And I think what I want to try to do now as I embark on this thought of, you know, why is it that we feel alone and those type of things? I can never really say for anyone else, but for myself, oftentimes I feel the pressures of, showing others that I am someone to accept. I guess a simple way to say is, deep down, I think I've always wanted to try to belong. And, part of being alone is sometimes contradictory because you're obviously not around people. So you question to yourself, do I belong here? Am I alone because I don't fit in? But then, in true pineapple fashion, um, I try to make sure to evoke a perspective shift always. There's never really like one way to see everything. I mean, that's why there's debates all the time. And, to flip the script and to frame it through my point of view, which is the tree that makes a sound in the forest that no one can hear, is that I'm alone because I choose to be in an environment where I know I can thrive, and I should be intentional about every environment that I'm in so that I can continue to thrive. And so situations like, I got back from Vancouver and I had to tell my cousins in LA, they were all planning to go to this amazing event, but I had to say no. I just, wholeheartedly knew that that environment was going to drain me. And it's not them, it's just more so I've been stacking up many days of not being home and being around others that like I just needed to attend to my energy and myself. And when I think about it, trying to unlock my potential, trying to evoke that Mamba mentality, which I really, I think for me, 2024 is going to be one of those where I believe that myself and my belief in myself and the belief that others have in me will start to create a more, aggressive platform in that sense where I know that my potential is higher than where it is today. And a lot of it has to do with, being okay with accepting challenges, being okay with accepting discomfort. And that if 2023 was all about a very discomfort or uncomfortable style of going through that year, at least now going into 2024, I'm aware, I'm conscious, and because I know about these environments and working with different people that help me to thrive, I feel like I could still be my best self. And a lot of people talk about manifestation, right? And I truly believe that I've been lucky to have manifested a lot in my life. So, do I see myself still continuing to excel? Yeah. I mean, look, I'm only 36. I know for many that could be old, for many that could be young. Um, but, we can't predict the future. And so, if I still feel in myself that I can be someone that creates a platform for others so that they can thrive, someone that can be a voice and a beacon so that others can see change and bring love and awareness to themselves, then I think I've been doing my job. And if that process is lonely, it's okay. Like, I'm not alone because at the end of the day, I have myself. I love myself. I have the commitment to expand who I am. And so when I think about being lonely and this thought of the day of celebrating New Year's alone, it was humbling because, I've been able to experience New Year's in, big parties, close families, different countries. And so this was just another one to experience as a variety of expanding who I am in my life. And so, yeah, being alone does feel weird. Not gonna lie, I definitely questioned it. But I firmly believe in full unconditional love of myself. And with that, I could never be alone. And, the acceptance that I feel like I need from others, it'll come. I'm not here to necessarily say that I need everyone to accept me. Because the true path is accepting myself first at the end of the day. I have to. Because I need to look at myself in the mirror. I need to, this is why I record these videos and do this podcast because it's a way for me to, again, consciously bring awareness to myself and where I'm at currently. So, yeah, not sure where that talk went. Hopefully, it was a little bit more concise. But maybe I could unpack being alone a little bit more in another video. I think this one, just for 2024, was just about like getting that time back for myself. Like I mentioned, my relationship with time is my best friend. And if I'm not giving myself that time, then I'm not honoring the relationship of a best friend for myself. So, with that, I want to leave this like one note with everyone, which is, again, we might be alone. Not a lot of people may hear the sound that we make in the forest, but the best thing that we can do is know that we are the ones in the forest making those vibrations, making those rhythms, making those frequencies, recharging, right? And just because no one's there doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The fact that we are here, and even if we're in the space alone, already proves our existence in this reality that we're living. So you're never alone as long as you have yourself. Don't forget to love yourself and accept yourself. Cheers to a happy 2024. This is January 1 on a Monday, I think. I forget the days. But um, yeah. Thanks, everyone. Pineapple, thought of the day. Peace.